الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone Alhamdulillah. So for the last 2 days we have been getting amazing sessions through our beloved Ustads. So to Ustad Majid actually went through the theory of Miraj and the methodology of the Latif. And inshallah, now our honorable Ustad Sajid will go through a practical session. So inshallah, wherever you are, sit comfortably. And I believe you have already prayed Salatul Hajat. Then make a niyyah, make an intention that once you are done with the practical session with the Muraqba and Miraj, then you will pray the Salatul Hajat and Salatul Tawbah. So I will introduce and let Ustad Sajid to start the practical session. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله. All praise to Allah the Almighty, durood and salutations on the best of creation, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome back, participants. Now I want to try and get interactive with this Zoom. Mashallah, Ustad Majid did the marathon run with 3 topics, I believe, and credit to yourselves for sitting through all of that and without requesting a break. Alhamdulillah, I'm going to ask yourselves full focus now, because we're going to go into a practical. I will just briefly recap on the theory. It will be helpful to know if yourselves can use whichever medium which is better, the chat function. If you've understood the theory well, if you need a deeper explanation, it'll come together as we do the practice, or if there's any pressing questions on that. Now, do not worry about the where, why, how now. This particular session is about you. It's about yourself experiencing. Unblock your mind, leave it. Ustad Majid did a fantastic job in answering some of the questions in regards to why, where, who. Now, unblock your mind. Here it's not about we're saying so-and-so experienced this. This is more about what you have experienced, what you will experience, how to experience, how to see and taste of the spiritual world to increase your level of yaqeen and love, increase your iman, love for the Prophet ﷺ, love for Allah, the exalted. Get out of your mind. It's not. I'm not here to, in this session, to debate with you whether the sky is blue, what color is the sun. In fact, what I'd like you to do is step outside, come out of your spirit, come out of your home, get out of your locked up blockages of what you think you know. No, you know nothing, just like I know nothing. No, you know, do not know what you do not know. Step outside into the light, see for yourself how blue the sky is. How blue the sky is. And yes, this is possible. For those who are new, make yourselves known. I'll have a little look here on the web chat. If you are new, raise your hands. If this is all new to you, so we can adapt our session towards you. There's no point of us going through and giving you the knowledge, going through the sessions, because we have a schedule to keep. As our teachers teaches us, look at, bring the whole class together. Focus on the ones who are walking, not the ones who are flying or running. So we're here for you. We're here to help each other in the remembrance of Allah, in the love For really, this deen is a love story. And what you'll be going through this itikaf is really you'll be taught how to connect, how to love the one that loves you unconditionally. The one that loves you unconditionally, without any conditions. And there's no difficulty with this at all. Why is there no difficulty? Because you're not relying on the self. You're not relying on your little knowledge, what you think you know. You're letting that all go. Through this whole process, you're going to be letting that all go. You're relying on the all-powerful, Allah the Exalted. Have that reliance, understand and follow the methodology yourself, connect with the teacher. These three things, have those in mind. The power is with Allah. I will learn the methodology and I will submit. By submission, we mean the teacher, for it is their spirit that will guide you. It's like entering a forest. You're dropped in, you're parachuted somewhere into the forest when you enter into the spiritual world. How you navigate through those, the pitfalls, what are the right berries to eat, which is the path to take, that's the role of your teacher, Shaykh Ahmad Dabaq, inshallah. So let me see if I can navigate some of this chat, questions and answers. Somebody has a problem. They have a problem that whenever they do this, they fall asleep. That's a good problem, because that's also a good sign. That's a good sign to increase the faith as well, as because really you're connecting with the one who is of peace. And as your spirit gets used to this, it will be able to stay awake more. But if it brings you into a sakina, that's the one way to know if you're falling into a sleep of tiredness or a sakina. When you do wake up, if you feel fresh, that's normally a sign your spirit is falling into that sleep of connection rather than the sleep of tiredness. If you're feeling groggy, that's normally that sign. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'll now try and share the presentation and we'll go through that briefly and then we'll go straight into the practice, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, mashallah, see, quite a number of participants are joining. So those who have just joined, do not worry. We're just going to be recapping on the spiritual ascension methodology. Spiritual experience. So we're going to be using the spiritual centers, also known as the Latifs. There are many, as Ustad Majid has mentioned. We're going to be focusing on the major 7. Now, the Latifs is not our purpose. We're literally going to energize those, purify those, connect ourselves with the Allah the Exalted, and then you'll find throughout this process we finish with them. So it's not, you're not blocking yourself by focusing yourself on grabbing one, energizing one spiritual center for healing, for feeling good. Our purpose is not this. Our purpose is to enter the spiritual world, to increase our level of yaqeen so we can come back and be that spiritual person. Be that spiritual person, be that forgiving person, be the one who will follow on the Quran and Sunnah because of love, not because of the stick. Some of us might have had growing up. You got to pray. You got to read Quran, because once you start to experience and taste, your life becomes different. Your life will change. And my word, there is no bigger motivator, no bigger force than love in of itself. So the 5 amals, these are your fundamental practices of the, this relates to the purification of the body, mind and heart. this will be gone into detail. Now, for us, for this practice, you've got to believe in the power of intention. So you make a firm intention. You can do that now. It's just in the heart. You make that firm intention. Oh Allah, I will purify myself. I will draw closer to you through my body, mind, and heart. Meaning bringing your eyes into the Sunnah, your mind into the Sunnah, your heart into the Sunnah. There's some fundamental practices that help you towards that level of purification, because once you start to see and taste, this is really what will then accelerate your journey in the spiritual world, is your purification in the physical world. So this will come back to this again and again. Now, when you enter into the spiritual world, this first session and various sessions at the beginning, we will guide you through. This is why we say put your books and your pens down. We'll give you some material that will summarize the main points that you can go through in your own time. But for now, the main thing is that you understand the methodology, understand the breathing exercises, what to think, what to let go. You need to let go to fall in love. Now, that's where we want you to focus on today. So put your books and your pens away. All of this will be available. The summaries we will make available for you. So here, all I want you to be interested is the understanding. Now, the experience, you have to engage yourself. Sometimes, yes, it can happen. Sometimes people are wanting a big fath opening, miraculous opening straight away, which can happen, it does happen. But this is a methodology where you are conditioning your heart, your mind, so you come into a controlled experience. So you become, you travel, just like when you go to sleep, your spirit travels. Here you're training yourself to travel while you're awake. And now to do that, you have to engage your spirit. And how you engage that is through your mind and your thoughts first. So thought level, you just have to think. If you are alive, you're able to think. For example, I said think of the Kaaba. You can think of Masjid Nabawi, Medina Sharif. You can think. Then if I say to you, imagine the Kaaba, maybe you've seen a picture, maybe you've been there before. You can imagine the shape of the Kaaba. You can imagine when you were walking there. You can imagine the cloth. You can even imagine the cloth over the Kaaba being green. You can bring those thoughts into your mind. But what will happen is, as you engage your thought and your imagination, then automatically, without you even knowing it, out of your control, the spiritual level will be attained. Keep the reliance on Allah, submit to the teacher, the master of this, of the spiritual side of this, Shaykh Ahmad Dabag. Allow him to be your guide, allow him to be your vision, your opening, your window into the spiritual world. The spiritual level will happen long as you come to those 2 points and engage in the methodology. So the example that Ustad Majid gave is like by riding a bike. So if those who have ridden a bike, or those who are parents and they're teaching their children how to ride a bike, you teach your child to sit on the bike, the bit that's in their control. Sit on the bike, they push the pedals at the best they can, the steering, and then you're holding the back. You're encouraging them. You're encouraging them, and then you let go, and they're doing it automatically without even knowing. And it does happen when they look back, they're surprised. Mommy, Daddy, we thought you were still holding on to the bike. I hope that's clear. Again, it will become easier once you start to, once we go through the first session. So this is important to know what's in your control, so that you fully engage your mind and your imagination. And if you can't imagine, think, come back and forth on those 2 levels. Yes, you can think you're alive, and the imagination will come as you start to practice the cleansing of the spiritual centers. It will start to unblock, start to clear the cloud in your mind, and then your imagination will flow better. When you allow it to flow, then automatically things will start to happen that you didn't even think about. So if I use the Kaaba example, you're thinking about the Hana Kaaba, you're now imagining you're walking around, and all of a sudden you may see certain personalities come and walk with you. Somebody may offer you some water of the Zamzam, and you'll be surprised, well, I didn't think of this. And sometimes it goes back and forth. Sometimes you get surprised, and just like the child who looks back, mum, dad, they're not holding the cycle anymore. Suddenly they fall down. That can happen. You'll be shocked. Certain things are happening, and you end up falling back into the imagination or the thought level. It's practice. Preparation and mindset. I mean, we always start off with the biggest of intentions. For like I said, the purpose isn't here to get hold of a spiritual center. As we're finishing those, bigger purpose, bigger intentions. It's a pleasure and the infinite, your closeness, the end of all ends. You want the infinite pleasure, closeness of Allah the Almighty. So you once you correct your intention, so every time you start, as the brothers have mentioned, read Salat al-Hajat, come with the intention, even though before it might be, the objective is to get you into the spiritual world to see and taste. That's our objective. But you have your biggest intention, is the reason you want to achieve the objective is to attain Allah's pleasure. And then once you've made that intention, you start to refresh the 3 keys. This is why we spent some time yesterday on the Muraqba dua, because all of this will help and accelerate that closeness. So you bring those 3 keys into mind. Allah is with me, Allah is seeing me, Allah is hearing me. Mention the Salat al-Hajat. So what's the last bit is like now you've now entered this majlis of learning. You may have forgotten to have read your Salat al-Hajat. Now is not the time to you're not in the masjid, you're not in the Zaviyah, you're not in the spiritual training centers that the teacher has across the world. You're in your home, you're in your own spiritual dojo, if you don't mind me using that word. So come with those etiquettes. It's not right. I quickly do two nafil. Everything here is by intentions. It's not. Allah knows your intention. If you've forgotten, it's fine. Make the intention to do it afterwards. You will not be deprived when you rely on Allah, and your heart is in that fikr, and you're following the methodology the teacher's given us. For Allah's sake, the intentions are very, very powerful. Do not underestimate. Then we come in under the protection. For you are just like just before you go to sleep, you do the protection amals, and you blow on yourself over your body as you go into sleep, because your spirit travels and you want to keep that spirit protected from the shaitanic interference. Same thing here, because you're not doing anything that different, other than you're going to do it in a wakeful state, and you'll be more controlled and aware of it than you are in your dreams. So you come into that protection to protect us from any shaitanic, nafsanic interferences. So Fatiha once, Ayatul Kursi once, and the 3 kuls in order, and you blow in your hand and you rub over your body. So just have one student asking to send the link. Would you just bear with me? I'll send that to him now. So we've done the intention, the presence, the protection. Then you come into these three states of mind. These are also not to be underestimated. So these three states of mind, particularly coming into humbleness, shukr, gratefulness, and reliance in this regards. Know whatever you know, leave it now, leave it at the door. Come with the humbleness, come with the humility that we don't even know how to worship Allah. How do we even know some of these sciences? Humble yourself, even though you think you may know better than whoever the trainer is in front of you or before you or coming after. Just humble yourself that you don't know what you don't know, that you're not able to perform these amals as is deserving for Allah the Exalted. Knowing that, you come into that shukr, knowing though your weaknesses, that really we are limited, we are sinful. Despite that, Allah is blessing us with such teachings. They've opened us, given us this opportunity, presented to us a teacher of the time, where you cannot find for anywhere in this world that I've seen teachings like this, where it's open to the masses in a methodological way. So humble yourself and come to the feet of the teacher like you would for any other teacher, for any other science. Whether it be academic, whether it be to learn tajweed, whether it be learn fiqh, whether it to be learn hadith. Those are good for knowledge. But here Allah has given you a teacher to teach you how to come close to him. My word, this is precious, for this is going to preserve, increase your iman, which is the most precious thing that you and me have. Like they say, sometimes certain opportunities come once or twice, you get the biggest opportunities come by yourself in your life. Believe you me and all the other trainers, participants, those who are doing the media, the admin, they all came the way you have come now, in search for that closeness, for that love, for the one that loves us unconditionally. And do not let go of this opportunity. Don't let what has filled your mind pollute you and lose yourself. Grab this. You're grabbing the cloak of the teacher's teaching for Allah's sake. Your deal is with Allah. You've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to worry about. So let yourself go. Then we come to the third part where your reliance is on Allah. How can you be hoodwinked when you are relying on Allah? Your intentions are for Allah. Your humility is to let go of whatever you filled yourself with. This is why the simple people tend to accelerate through this very fast. Sometimes the most sinful people who have done the heinous of sins and they want to find a way out, and they come and they admit their weaknesses. They accept the teacher. They rely on Allah. They accelerate through the spiritual path beautifully. And you know what? When you see this, it just refreshes your own iman. And those who have spent years and years building knowledge, building a name for themselves, being a peer in their self, flan, knowing they do not have anything to give to their seekers, their murids. They are empty and depressed themselves. They find this the hardest, for they have to let go. But When you do, you are what you're doing. You're preserving your iman. You're helping yourself. You're increasing. You're living in a world. We are living in a world of distraction. Virtual reality, internet, media, everything's happening at a fast pace. Movies, computer games. You can lose yourself in these. Netflix binging. World of virtual computer games. You can spend hours and not know where the time goes. Whereas when you connect with the spiritual world, oh my word, you will have now a rival, something to rival the distractions of this world, and yourself will be inclined for that. The spiritual world is vast and it's infinite. The three states. Now then the starting of Mars. Just like with everything. So we've done the intentions, the presence, the protection of Mars, the three states of mind. Now the starting of Mars. Bismillah once, Astaghfar 3 times, Drushi 3 times, and La Hawla wa la Quwwata illa billah 3 times. And again, Ustad Maji went through the detail of this as it was done in Muraqba Dua yesterday. Now, in regards to the spiritual centers, the main knowledge you need to know here is the location. We'll go through how to breathe and think. Here, the main, and we'll mention it as we go through the guide ascension, is the location of them. So the color, each of them have meanings. They have relation to certain blockages that one can have. But focus for now, the red below the navel, orange at the level of the navel, yellow stomach, green level of the heart, the center of your chest, the level of the heart, light blue your throat, dark blue forehead, and the white at the crown of your head. So the Latif exercise can be broken down in 3 parts. One is the preparation, where you imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in white color, and when you breathe in, the nur enters throughout your whole body, and when you breathe out, the light exits from your mouth, removing all the stresses and darkness from you. And the second part of this is the individual cleansing. So I'm just going through this because you've been through this in detail with Ustad Majid. Then we focus on each of the spiritual centers. So here, location of the spiritual center, and the name of Allah is in that color. And you go up through all the colors. And when you breathe in the relevant nur from your nose, and it goes straight to that spiritual center. Other than the ones higher above the nose, the dark blue and the white. Again, we'll guide you through this when we go through this shortly. So that's the individual cleansing. And then once the last spiritual center is done, which is the white, the third part of this is the same as the preparation, where you then imagine the beautiful name of Allah is above your head and is cleansing all the spiritual centers throughout your whole body. And then you're focusing on your breathing there. And then you imagine your body is getting lighter and lighter until it disappears, and just your spiritual centers and your breath remains. Then one by one, your spiritual centers start to disappear. Now only your breath and your spirit remain. And when that happens, you start to imagine, create a mirror image of yourself. Even an outline will suffice. And then you get ready to take what we call the golden breath. We take such a breath out, you blow your spirit into your spiritual body, for that's the body you'll be using to travel in the spiritual world. And immediately after that, you think of your teacher. So I'm just going to put the image here. Imagine the teacher, your guide in the spiritual world. So if you're not physically seen the teacher before, just bring that image in mind there for now. And whatever happens, you can report back afterwards your experience. So once you're in the spiritual world, you think about your teacher, and then your teacher, they will guide you through this. Normally, you would then go into to meet the grand teacher, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz the Bahagri Mullah, which is a great Ummi Sheikh from Fez in Morocco. And that's where the spiritual light is coming from them to our teacher, then to us. Then sometimes we meet them out of respect, and then wherever the journey takes you, inshallah. Okay, so as time is short, we're now going through the exercise, and we can go into detail of the other matters later. So all of these are the orders that you can go in when you want to engage the spirit. So what I'd like you to all do now is get into a comfortable position. And close your eyes now. Close your eyes now. Now imagine the beautiful name of Allah is above your head. Imagine the beautiful name of Allah is above your head. You start to make the intentions for Allah's pleasure. Keep your eyes closed now. And then start to refresh the three keys. Allah's with me, seeing me, hearing me. Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. I start to do the protection namaz now. Surah Fatiha once, Ayatul Kursi once, the three kuls in order, kul of ahad, kul of falaq, kul of nas. And when you're done, blow in your hand and rub over your body. Then blow on your hand and then rub all over your body. And start to come into the three minds, the three mindsets of humbleness. Clear your mind of whatever you think you know. use your sins to come into a state of humbleness. Really, we do not know how to worship Allah or come close to them as it befits. Despite knowing our shortcomings, how thankful we are. Come to a state of thankfulness, how thankful we are to Allah for bringing us such teachings. Show the emotion of gratitude from inside. And know it's Allah, Allah the Exalted, that will open this door for us, this travel to His closeness. That reliance on Allah. I do the starting Amaz. Bismillah once, Astaghfar 3 times, and Durood Sharif 3 times. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah 3 times. Bismillah Rahman. Astaghfirullah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina. La hawla wa la quwwata. La hawla wa la quwwata. Now start to refresh the 3 keys that Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Imagine the beautiful name of Allah is above our head in white color. It's full of nur. Has complete focus now. It's full of nur. The beautiful name of Allah is in white color. As you refresh the 3 keys, Allah's with me, seeing me, hearing me. Imagine the light is coming, falling upon you now. Coming upon your head like a waterfall. Now as you breathe in through your nose, imagine the light is entering throughout your whole body. Enters throughout your whole body, the cooling light from the name of Allah to the tip of your toes, tip of your fingers. And when you breathe out from your mouth, release all the darkness, worries. So bring yourself to this present moment now. Do not worry about what is happening, what isn't happening. When will this session start or finish? Let all that go. Come into the reliance on Allah. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in the beautiful nur from the name of Allah. Let it enter throughout your whole body. When you breathe out, release all your worries, anxieties, your hopelessness. Let it go. Long, deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, out from your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Now start to refresh the three keys. That Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. And we're going to focus on the individual cleansing of the spiritual centers. Now imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in red color. And from the beautiful name of Allah comes a red nur coming down upon you. And when you breathe in through your nose, breathe in the red nur, and it goes straight down to your red spiritual center, located below the navel. As it enters below the navel, energizing, cleansing the red spiritual center. When you breathe out, the nur, the light exits from behind the spiritual center, removing the darknesses. Red below the navel. Gain long, deep breaths, full concentration. Now again, refresh the three keys that Allah is with me, Allah is seeing me, Allah is hearing me. Now imagine, think the beautiful name of Allah above your head now is in orange color. Emanating from the name of Allah is orange nur. And when you breathe in the orange nur from your nose, it goes straight down to your orange spiritual center, located at your navel, your belly button. Energizing and cleansing the orange spiritual center. When you breathe out, exits from behind, removing the darkness and the blockages. Long, deep breaths. Focus on your breathing. Orange at the level of your navel. And again, now refresh the presence that Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Now imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in yellow color at the level of your stomach is a spiritual center of yellow color. And again, when you breathe in the yellow nur, let it go straight to your stomach area, energizing, cleansing, yellow spiritual center. Yellow stomach. Again, long, deep breaths. Again, refresh the presence. The Allah, the Exalted, is with me, seeing me, hearing me. And as you do that, imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in green color. Now linked with the purification of the green spiritual center of your chest at the level of your heart. And you breathe in the green nur, let it enter your chest. When you breathe out, it exits from behind your chest, energizing, cleansing, opening the green spiritual center, the level of your chest. Now again, refresh the presence. Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. As you do that, the beautiful name of Allah is now in light blue color. Focus with the cleansing of the light blue spiritual center at the level of your throat. This time breathe in the beautiful nur from the name of Allah in light blue color. Let it enter to your throat. When you breathe out, it exits from behind your neck, energizing, cleansing the light blue spiritual center, the level of your throat. And again, now refresh the presence that Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Now bring back your focus and imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in dark blue indigo color. This time when you breathe in the nur comes straight to the front of your forehead. You breathe in from your nose, but the light from the name of Allah comes directly to your forehead, energizing, cleansing the dark blue spiritual center. And when you breathe out, imagine the light is exiting from behind your head, removing all the blockages and darknesses. Dark blue spiritual center, forehead. Long, deep, controlled breaths. Dark blue, forehead. Now again, refresh the presence. Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Now imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in white color. Be linked with the purification of white spiritual center just above your head, the crown of the head. And again, when you breathe in, imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in white, and the white nur goes directly into the front of the white spiritual center. When you breathe out, it exits from behind, energizing, cleansing the white spiritual center. Fully focused. Long, deep breaths. And again, refresh the presence that Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Beautiful name of Allah is in white color. At this time, just like the preparation, when you breathe in, the light from the name of Allah in white nur comes straight upon the head, straight on top of the white spiritual center, and throughout the whole body, energizing, cleansing all the spiritual centers at once. Free your mind, whether you've done the exercise well or not, on each of the spiritual centers. Just focus on the now. Breathe in, keep your reliance on Allah. Let the light enter throughout your whole body, energizing, cleansing, everything at once. And when you breathe out, the light is coming up and down your body. Long, deep breaths. With every breath, your body is getting lighter and lighter. Forget about behind, what's going to happen. Just focus on the now. Focus on your breathing. Let the light from the nur of Allah enter throughout your whole body. With each breath out, feel your body is starting to disintegrate now. Starting to disappear from your legs. Your torso has disappeared, your arms, your head. All of your body is now disappeared. Just think, just imagine. What is left is your breath, your spirit, and your spiritual centers. Stay fully focused. Imagine, think. Each one of your spiritual centers now will disappear, starting with the red. Just finished, disappeared. Orange, yellow, gone. Green, light blue, dark blue, white, finished. All your spiritual centers have disappeared. Keeping Allah is with me, seeing me, hearing me. What remains now is your breath and your spirit. Stay focused now with your mind, with your thought, with your imagination. Imagine you are looking at yourself in the mirror. Create your spiritual body in front of you. Even if it's just a white outline, that is fine. Stay focused on your breathing. And get ready to take that golden breath, where you will take such a breath out that you will blow your spiritual body, your spirit into your spiritual body. Stay focused. Now take such a breath out. Blow your spirit into your spiritual body. If you haven't done so, do so now. And just imagine that you are in your spiritual body. Don't worry about anything else now. Just imagine, think that you are in your spiritual body, in the spiritual world. And the first thing you do now is think of your teacher. Keep your eyes closed. Think of your teacher. Whatever image, feeling comes to mind, just report that back. But just bring that thought, direct your spirit towards the spirit of the teacher. As you do that, you already feel your spirit, your spiritual body, your spirit is leaving your house. You can see your house below you, as if all those who are participating all around the world, you're making a connection with everyone's spirit.
As you have this feeling to raise your eyes up, you see the blessed personality of your teacher above you, and you see the light from the name of Allah emanating upon them, and from them you see a light of connection to all of you. Now focus on the light that is connecting you. So imagine that scene, you're above, you're in the sky, above your house, above your town. And in the sky you see the beautiful light of the teacher. And you see that light of connection coming upon you. Focus on that connection. Ask Allah in your heart to connect you to your teacher. With the intention, your teacher will connect you to the closeness of the Prophet ﷺ, closeness of Allah, the Exalted. And let your spirit float towards the teacher. You feel as you connect with the teacher spirit, such energy, such light emanates, as if you go even closer to your teacher, towards the name of Allah. Without even knowing it, you're now in the universe, the vast universe. You can see planet Earth below you, the galaxies. You are mesmerized by the beauty of all that is around you, the stars, the planets, the galaxies. Your teacher mentions to focus, and you see all the galaxies in their magnificent colors reflecting the zikr of Allah. As if your teacher welcomes you into the spiritual world. And then with that, they take you by the hand and start to descend back towards planet Earth. As you come closer, you start to see the planet Earth, the continents. You start to see the continent of Africa. You're heading towards the continent of North Africa. And as you get closer, you see the country of Morocco. And then towards North Morocco, as you come down, you enter towards the city of Fez. You're now on a hill. In front of you is the blessed Mazar, the blessed resting place of Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh Rahimullah, the Ummi saint. You see a light emanating from the Mazar, and from there you see a blessed personality coming. In their hand is a bunch of grapes. And as you sit down with your teacher under a tree with the blessed friend of Allah, they congratulate you for taking the first step to such an adventure, to your closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And each one of us is gifted a grape, and with that is actually a date. Each one of us gifted a date. And they give that date into your hand, as if it's a gift to open your fast with. They've mentioned, before I give you permission to leave, know that your access to me, to all the friends of Allah, and then to the Master and the Beloved of Allah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, is through the access of your teacher. Hold on to their teachings, follow the path of purification, and excel in your spiritual ascension, for we love to be in your closeness, and we yearn for you to have the yearning for the closeness of the Prophet, peace be upon him. But come through the means of the window of your teacher, and let your worries float away. With this, they give us permission, and you see your teacher take you by your hand. You respectfully seek permission from Sayyidina Abdul Aziz the Baghri Mullah, and you slowly start to come back with your teacher back to your room where you are. Seek permission from your teacher. Slowly come back into your body, and then start to open your eyes in your own time. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Just recite Durud in your heart. Let your spirit come back into your body, and then slowly start to open your eyes. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Nabil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Allahumma ya Rabbi bi jahi Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ijma bayni wa bayna Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdullah fi dunya qabla al-akhirah. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, if I could ask the moderators to come back online as well. And alhamdulillah, we are blessed by our senior Ustad Abdul Rahim. And Speaker Dr. Shfa, you can come back online, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we still have, I think our end time is sort of 8:45. So this is, maybe we can take advantage of the next 10 or so minutes for feedback. Feedback on people's experience. Firstly, if they were able to follow the methodology of the cleansing of the spiritual centers, and how they transfer, how did they find the spiritual transfer into the spiritual body, and then connecting with the teacher, and then the guided journey. So that guided journey was more for practice, and if anybody had any other experiencing or any difficulties, anything that wasn't mentioned, they experienced, they can mention either on the group or, but I'll allow Dr. Ashfaq to moderate that, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم جزاك الله خير Ustaz Sajid for leading us for this beautiful session. So inshallah, I would highly encourage all the participants, whether they had any difficulty or whether they had any experience, whether they could follow the Ustad or they could also have their own individual journey with our blessed teacher. So please share your experience. And from our previous retreats, we have learned that the person who actually shares the most, even though they are having difficulty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showers their mercy on them more, because they're actually helping other people who are very shy, might be, to ask questions. So I highly encourage everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let me read one of the question. One person mentioned that I have sat in retreats, but I'm never able to see anything today. I went through the methodology and the whole experience they yourself mentioned. I struggle to concentrate.
Ustad Abdurrahim, yourself can come in.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jazakallah khair for your question and concern. Alhamdulillah, it is really with practice that a person gets used to the method. Firstly, one should learn the method properly, and many people may have this issue. Firstly, number one is to learn the method. So be familiarized with yourself that where the latifas are, where the colors of the latifas, and then the process and the breathing is important. Secondly, is that one, like the importance thing of we prepare. Preparation is one of the most key things, is to refresh one's intention and using the protection and amals as well as the 3 states. Feeling that state as well is very important. Feel and believing in that state. So these are some key issues. Now, inshallah, we will have more sessions like this. So another session we'll inshallah have tomorrow as well. But one thing you should do now is whenever you come into this Muraqba is firstly do much as you can. So one of the things we always recommend to all the people is that do Salatul Hajjat. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiveness and then present yourself to Him and in helplessness, in need of Him. And then after this, learn the method, and thus all you have to do is follow what the ustads are saying and just put into words even. So first state is just words, follow that word, what they're saying, and then imagination then comes afterwards. So inshallah with yourself, inshallah, if you keep on trying, don't let this become a barrier, a person will begin to experience. But with all experiences, we always say is the outer purification is very important. So one should also be mindful of one's own purification of the heart, that where one is he observing the eyes, for example? The eyes are very important because if a person wants to see the Mashayikh or see a glimpse of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one has to also purify one's eyes as well as body as well. One wants to speak and converse with the Mashayikh, wants to purify the tongue as well. One's mind should be purified in order to, the connection should to be strong as well. So all of these outer purification is also linked to the spiritual connection as well. And that is very important, inshallah. So inshallah, focus on these things, and next gathering we have, inshallah, take these elements and put more effort, inshallah, and then rely upon Allah as well.
Inshallah, one participant mentioned that image in my head, all I am seeing is one set of wings with a circle on top, with Allah written on and like a blue navy sky. Am I doing it properly?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I wouldn't worry too much about if you're doing it properly or not. The main thing is that you've understood the methodology, and sometimes whatever the experience might be, if it's not as guided or you have gone on your own experiences, sometimes they have certain meanings as well. So you should, the key thing here is to let it flow, but stay connected to your teacher. Sometimes certain wings or certain things, there may be some messages that are to do with your spiritual journey, your amals, your reliance on Allah. Sometimes
Sometimes there be certain things that they can point to in regards to your journey towards Allah the Almighty. So something like this, at the moment you relayed a partial experience where you've got confused, am I doing it properly or not? Next time, go through the methodology. Once the guided tour has started, if your own journey starts happening, things start to happen automatically. So for this purpose, we won't go into any meanings, but the fact that you are experiencing something that wasn't guided, like a wing, like a circle, there's many things happening in the spiritual world. It is vast. Hence why we say, come through the vision, come through the glasses of your teacher. So it is more focused. There's so many things happening in the spiritual world. I'm just seeing some other questions. Some people, they're getting confused where to go, what to do. People are having some powerful experiences. But the key thing here, and somebody where they lost the concentration of the teacher, they wanted to go directly to the Prophet, peace be upon him. There's a level of adab here as well. It's like you have Dr. Shwakia, he's a professor in Canada. When he was going through his undergrad, his postgrad, he didn't say, I want to go directly to the professor. He went through the process. This happens many times. Sometimes you put into teams, you have your head coordinator, and they give you a manager, a general manager, but you want to go direct. And sometimes when you go direct to the CEO and you do not get the task right, you have the risk of being fired. Here, at least, you have a trainer to practice with. You have your teacher to understand and guide you to the spiritual world, so they can take you from the hand to the Prophet, peace be upon him. By that time, you will be tamed. You will have the correct adab, you have the correct understanding for your closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not underestimate, do not bypass this this key, this focus on your teacher. For there's a reason we're saying that. For if you make a mistake when you're in the presence of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes that can be more detrimental than if you make a mistake here. Now, this is what the whole exercise of learning is. So you give this feedback, so we can then, from what our limited knowledge is, help you to correct yourself on certain matters. But in regards to the level of your keen to seeing and experiencing these matters, you can take much positivity from that you have seen and tasted of the spiritual world. But we want this to become a love story for you to your journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by connecting with your teacher. So this becomes more powerful, and you'll see that as we go into the sessions of Salah, how you're using the exercises to make your Salah a spiritual experience. If Ustad Abdul Rahim wants to mention.
I'm just reading through some of the questions on there as well. One person asked about a vibration, the experience of vibration. So inshallah, these things will happen. The body is getting used to traveling, or the spirit being far and the body feeling this as well. So inshallah, the more a person practices these amals, and the more he has that spiritual experience, and the more the body will get used to. The thing is, because the body has been in this life for many long period of time, it's not been in such remembrance like it was in the world of spirits with Allah Azza wa Jal, with the prophets and messengers. And as it's come in this world, it's forgotten, and it needed reminder, is committed sins and darkness. So the body has lost that connection with the spirit as such. So now through, like I said, I always go back to the form of purification, because the more you purify the body, the more better experience a person will also receive as well. And plus the body will get used to the spirit experiencing and traveling as well. So sometimes when the body is vibrating, is because the body is getting used to it as well. So inshallah, the more you practice, you'll get used to it as well. Another thing that someone has mentioned is about breathing. So maybe they're not used to the breathing technique of breathing in through the nose and then breathing out through the mouth. The breathing element is important because it's a form of purification, and it's a form of cleansingness as well. So like breathing, you breathe in, is breathing in the energy, breathing in the light of the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. And as you're breathing out, all the darkness and waste and desires is leaving the body. So this is very important preparation as well when you are doing the exercise. But again, because the body is not used to, the more you practice, inshallah, the more you'll get used to these things as well, inshallah. And lastly, and any other questions you may ask is that now, because this is a spiritual journey, even physical journeys, people want to, like, even famous people go to jungles and they need experts to take them to jungles to see a very endangered species or dangerous animals. They take a person of expertise with them. Imagine the jungle is very dangerous. A log could be a snake. A leaf could be a poisonous animal. So likewise, if the world in a jungle, you need someone who's expert in the field of you can say nature or these species or animals to visit. What to say to visiting in the spiritual world? And you definitely need expert in these. So in order to have expertise in this, you need someone who's an expert, like the mashayikhs, like of Sheikh Ahmad Dabbar. And when you are on the journey, you should just think of them, like they are with you and they will be with you. And when you see anything dangerous, like you see in the physical nature, you call the expert. I've seen this, what should I do? Likewise, you should think of the teacher and present this thought to them, and then the help will come, inshallah. So this is like it's been mentioned again, this is like a emergency button, asking for help through the means of the mashayikh. The help is always from Allah Azza wa Jal, but they're using the means, which are the mashayikh, inshallah. So more you do and more you realize this, then the help, inshallah, and things will become easier.
Inshallah. So there is a question from a participant. Assalamu alaikum. Instead of grapes, I saw a book in our Grand Sheikh's hand, and then our guide said grapes, so I had to change that image.
So this is one of the things is, remember, this is your experience. So if you are seeing something different, you let that flow. You let that flow through. So don't go, if something's starting to happen automatically, you're now going into the spiritual level. And there's many different things happening in the spiritual world. So let that flow. So next time when you do this, alhamdulillah, you've achieved the objective of connecting with the teacher spirit and then entering into the spiritual world. Then you let your teacher be your guide. And whatever we do with the guided tour, let that be a sort of signposting, and then let your own experience flow. It's like we got somebody here who's mentioned, when I was able to follow the instruction, I was a little ahead initially. I went into the sky with the teacher floating, and then it was mentioned that we are in the universe. So yeah, this can happen also, and that just shows you how real some of these experiences are. So the spirit, the travel of the spirit is faster than the trainer relaying it. So the trainer has to then be in that spiritual world and then mention it physically. By that time, your spirit has already, if you follow the correct methodology and you're focused on the guided journey, you will many times find yourself ahead, or the matter's already happened before it's been mentioned. So I hope that makes sense. It's like light travels faster than sound. So it's happened before it's been mentioned. And how much more time do we have, Dr. Shafaq?
Only one more feedback, because we have lots of feedback from our participants. Inshallah, we'll get one more Assalamu alaikum. I followed my teacher and I can see all the Latifs is doing zikr. And when I met our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gave to me a crown and put on my head. I don't know what is this.
You start, Badri.
So inshallah, this is mashallah, congratulations firstly on a blessed experience and being with such a blessed personality, none other than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a blessed message for yourself, mashallah. Firstly, it shows that the Lataif is, mashallah, engaged in the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now a person should put that into physical practice as well, through purification. So the Lataifs are telling you that they want to be in the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. And now you should put this into practice now with form of purification of the body, mind, heart, and soul. And lastly, the Quran, the crown represents the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is the highest form which is most closest to Allah Azza wa Jal than the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So inshallah, you should now take this more seriously and decorate your body in the love, in the physical presence of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, internally and outwardly as well, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, inshallah, and inshallah mubarak, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. So now it's hard time at UK. So inshallah, we would like to thank our beloved Ustad Sajid and Ustad Abdul Rahim. And we'll conclude this session. Please be on time for our next session, which will be the Durood Majlis tonight. Tonight is one of the blessed nights. It could be Laylatul Qadr. So in the meanwhile, before we connect, inshallah, we should all present it by لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.